So, you think you've seen all the great fantasy films? You probably stopped after watching Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and maybe Narnia, twice. But what if I told you there's a whole magical universe out there, filled with flying pirates, talking monsters, and epic myths that no one's talking about? Welcome to Stream Mojo, where today we're counting down 5 underrated fantasy films from Hollywood and 5 rare, mind-blowing fantasy gems from around the world. It's magic, it's mayhem, and trust me, these picks are criminally underwatched. Let's dive in with number 5, A, The Secret of Moonacre, 2008. Once upon a time, a girl inherited a book, a broken family legacy, and a destiny packed with glowing pearls, moody wolves, and one seriously enchanted wardrobe collection. The Secret of Moonacre is the kind of fantasy film that feels like Narnia's quirky cousin. Less budget, but just as magical. We follow Maria Merriweather, an orphan teenager sent to live in a mysterious manor where her family's ancient curse is tied to a magical moon princess. There's feuding clans, a ticking deadline, and a weirdly charming horse with excellent timing. It's visually whimsical, emotionally sweet, and criminally underrated. Think fairy tale meets family drama, with enough sparkles and secrets to keep your inner child glued to the screen. And hey, it's proof that you don't need a giant green screen budget to craft a little magic. Number 5, B, Big Fish in Begonia, 2016, China. Imagine if Studio Ghibli took a trip to Chinese mythology and came back with a film so beautiful your eyeballs would file a thank you note. Big Fish in Begonia is a visual poem, a surreal, stunning fantasy where the line between humans and spirits is as thin as a dragon's whisker. It follows Chun, a girl from a mystical undersea world who sacrifices everything to repay a human boy who saved her life. There's magic, there's reincarnation, there's a giant red fish soaring through the clouds like it's on vacation from a dream. This isn't just a fantasy movie, it's an emotional sucker punch wrapped in hand-drawn elegance. Underrated? Absolutely. Unknown? Mostly. Unforgettable? Without question. So, if you're into soul-swapping celestial worlds and crying into D, this is your next hidden gem. Number 4, A, City of Ember, 2008. Take one crumbling underground city, add a ticking clock, and toss in 2 teens with a flashlight and way too much curiosity. Boom. You've got City of Ember, set in a post-apocalyptic world where humanity survives deep below the earth. This underrated gem is part sci-fi, part fantasy, and all adventure. The city's power is failing, the lights are flickering, and no one seems to care. Except for Lena and Dune, 2 rebellious teens who discover a long-lost exit plan buried in mystery. It's got that cozy YA energy, a steampunk vibe, and Bill Murray playing the sketchiest mayor underground. Why did no one talk about this movie? Maybe because it was overshadowed by bigger blockbusters. But trust me, this glowing underdog deserves a second chance. And yes, you'll want to move into Ember until the lights go out. Number 4, B, Pan's Labyrinth, 2006, Spain. Fairy tales aren't always about princesses and happy endings. Sometimes they bleed. Pan's Labyrinth is a haunting masterpiece from Spain, crafted by Guillermo del Toro that blends dark fantasy with harsh historical reality. Set during the Spanish Civil War, young Ophelia stumbles into a twisted labyrinth, guided by a creepy faun who may or may not have her best interests at heart. There are tasks, there are monsters, and, oh yes, there's that pale man with eyeballs in his hands. You know the one. This isn't a kid's fantasy. It's more like a fever dream soaked in sorrow, beauty, and brutal truths. The visuals, mesmerizing. The emotion, devastating. The story, an unforgettable punch to the soul. If you've never wandered into this dark wonderland, now's your chance. Just don't eat anything off the table. Number 3, A, The Fall, 2006. What do you get when you mix a hospital bed, heartbreak, and a wild imagination? You get The Fall, a visually hypnotic fantasy that nobody watched but everyone should. Set in the 1920s. Los Angeles, a paralyzed stuntman tells an epic tale to a little girl. blending fantasy and reality so seamlessly, you'll forget which is which. It's got masked bandits, mystical landscapes, a vengeful Indian warrior, and colors so rich they make Instagram filters cry. Director Tarsum Singh filmed this across 20 countries. Yeah, 20. No CGI, no green screen, just real locations that look like dreams stitched together. But don't be fooled by the beauty. This film hits hard with emotion, loss, and a powerful bond between two broken souls. It's poetic, strange, and criminally underrated. If you've never seen The Fall, you're missing one of the most beautiful fantasy films ever made. And that's not an exaggeration. Number 3B, Valhalla 2019, Denmark. Norse mythology with a modern glow-up. Valhalla from Denmark delivers just that. A Viking-fueled fantasy adventure that somehow nobody talks about. Loosely based on the classic Danish comic, this film follows two mortal siblings who get swept into the realm of gods, giants, and a very moody Thor. We're talking frost giants, glowing-eyed wolves, and a version of Valhalla that's more unsettling than majestic. This ain't your Marvel-style Asgard. It's raw, it's gritty. It smells like cold iron and goat stew. The visuals, surprisingly epic for a low-budget gem. The story, a coming-of-age journey tucked inside a mythological nightmare. If you love folklore, creepy creatures, and seeing Odin stare into your soul, this one deserves a spot on your screen. Valhalla might have flown under the radar, but it hits like a hammer, Mjolnir style. Number 2. A. Ink 2009. Ever wonder what your dreams look like if they were directed by a sleep-deprived Tim Burton? Ink 2009 is a micro-budget fantasy with mega imagination. It's one of those films that grabs your brain, punches it emotionally, then hugs it right after. The story: a mysterious creature named Ink kidnaps a young girl's soul while she sleeps, dragging her into a surreal dream realm filled with warriors, drifters, and beings called storytellers and incubi. Yeah, this isn't your average bedtime story. Shot for less than a weekend lunch in Hollywood, this indie film manages to look way better than it should. It's got that raw, gritty charm where the flaws become part of the magic. The editing, hypnotic. The story, deeply emotional. The vibes, full-on dreamscape chaos. And the twist? Let's just say, you'll feel things you weren't ready to feel. If you missed Ink, don't worry. Most of the world did. But it's time to fix that. Number 2, B. The Last Warrior, 2017, Russia. What if you accidentally fell into a magical world and found out you might be the chosen one, but also kind of a goofball? The Last Warrior, or Posledny Bogatyr, is Russia's answer to Shrek meets Harry Potter, with extra folk legends and just enough sarcasm. Our hero? A Moscow con artist who suddenly gets zapped into Belagori, a mythical land where Baba Yaga is real, Koshai the Deathless is immortal and moody, and your average day includes sword fights and spell slinging. It's colorful, charming, and surprisingly clever. The humor is tongue-in-cheek, the action is energetic, and the CGI way better than you'd expect. This one flew under the radar internationally, but in Russia, it was a massive hit, spawning sequels and a fan base. If you love fairy tales with a modern twist, this underrated fantasy gem deserves a front row seat in your watch list. Number 1, A. Stardust, 2007. Once upon a time, a star fell from the sky and turned into Claire Danes. No, really. Stardust is the kind of fantasy film that feels like a warm, slightly chaotic bedtime story. If that story involved witches, pirates, and royal ghosts bickering over a throne, our hero Tristan crosses a magical wall to find a fallen star for his crush, only to discover that the star is a literal woman with an attitude and a glow. Michelle Pfeiffer plays a youth-hungry witch, serving elegance and evil. Robert De Niro, a sky pirate with unexpected hobbies. It's whimsical, romantic, and weird in all the right ways. Yet somehow, this gem didn't get the love it deserved at the box office. Stardust blends fairy tale charm with cheeky humor and a touch of darkness. A true underrated fantasy that still sparkles years later. Number 1, B, K3N. Het lied van de Zeemeermin, 2024, Netherlands. Language, Dutch. Pop trio, turned mermaids, on a beach holiday. Yes, this is totally a thing. In K3 and Het lied van de Zeemeermin, our favorite girl group goes to sunny Malta, and somehow ends up tail first instead of toe first. Hannah, Marta, and Julia, who've been mall singing since forever, are suddenly mermaids by spell, with 3 days to break the curse, or lose their legs forever. The locals think mermaids are monsters. The girls think mermaids are fabulous when tails aren't a problem. It's fantasy, it's fun, and it's got that pop sparkle, but with actual stakes. Does it feel a bit like H2O in Dutch? Yeah, but with K-pop charm, coastal drama, and more singing than a lighthouse karaoke bar. With heart, humor, and way more fins than you'd expect, it's a family-friendly fantasy with a mermaid twist. If you thought being part fish was only for Disney, K3 just raised the tide. And there you have it, 5+5 underrated fantasy films that slipped through the cracks, but definitely deserve the spotlight. From secret moonlit kingdoms to mermaid girl groups, this list had more magic than a wizard's inbox. Did we miss your hidden favorite? Drop it in the comments and share the fantasy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss next week's 5+5 pick. Until then, keep the popcorn warm and the portals open.